Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
Hope all is well.
So we have a lot of questions today, and the first one is a question that we wanted to address anyway. So the first question asks, how are you both feeling about current events?
So we are experiencing a multitude of feelings from passion to anger to sadness. And in trying to do that, we are doing a couple different things. We are supporting Black Lives Matter. We are sharing resources with family and friends. We're educating ourselves using resources shared by people. We are shopping Black owned businesses and trying to lift them up and just trying to listen to voices that very clearly need to be heard and have needed to be heard for a long time.
Signing petitions
Yeah.
online.
Trying to get people registered to vote.
Yeah, doing what we feel like we can, but also we want to let you know that we are here. We are supporting our students, and just if you need anything, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, we love you and we'll always be here.
So just, yes, we do support Black Lives Matter. Thoughts on the 2020 curriculum chapters in a few years?
They're going to be long. There are certain years in history where, you spend more time on them than others, and this is going to be one of those years.
And it's only halfway through. It's June, 6 out of 12, so we've got a long way to go this year. But it's definitely going to be one to remember. How can you stay positive during a time like this? It feels like everything is crashing down all at once.
It does, but with great chaos, as we've seen throughout history, whether it's the French Revolution, the Haitian uprising, with great chaos also comes great change. So sometimes for things to change, there needs to be a bit of a mess first. There's another expression like this: you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And just keeping that in mind, that things do change, and just trying to find yourself within that change and finding what drives you and what also helps you unwind. I know that I have been limiting my social media to an hour a day, just so that I can stay in touch with everything and share resources, but also unplug, because sometimes when I jump from site to site to site, it makes me very anxious. And also just trying to go out for walks and whatever I like to do to kind of take a break from the world.
Yeah, and I was going to say it's important that you are being involved and informed of what's going on, but also that it is okay to take a step back. Like, you can do some reading, read some articles, but it's also okay to read something else as well. Like, this, you don't have to be fully consumed by this all the time. You need to do what's right for you. Is the last day of school really on June 12th?
Yes.
Yes. When do all grades close? Report cards come.
We have to have the grades to you by the 12th, so the 11th is the last day, realistically, if you want things graded.
What types of assignments will we do next week, because it's our last week?
So in my class, we're doing reflections Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's going to be reflections on each quarter of the year. So Monday will be a reflection on quarter one, and so on and so forth.
For my class, for Goddard, there's a Romeo and Juliet movie kind of comparison assignment that I just posted. And then in the college classes, you'll be doing some more reflecting, Mr. Aracey said, but about 9th grade English. And then I'll have a survey for all of my classes, both about my English curriculum and then remote learning. So some surveys, end of the year wrap-up review. If our 10th grade schedule is on student portal, does that mean we're passing?
Not necessarily. You just need to make sure you're not failing more than, you can't fail 2 or more classes for the year. As long as you are okay with that, then you are on to 10th grade.
Who's our next year U.S. History 1 teacher?
So that depends. It's not like this year where all the Arts Academy and all of GSA has the same teacher. I know for GSA, there's Miss Powers and there's Mr. Cormier. And for everybody else, there are a multitude of U.S. history teachers. There's Ms. Carroll, there's Mr. Bernard, there's lots of them. So I can't give you a straightforward answer.
Yeah, and that is something to keep in mind, that next year you won't have your same academy with your same 4 teachers. Your friends might have different teachers than you. How do we receive our summer work for our classes next year?
If the teachers have specific assignments, they'll reach out to you. I know for English, for GSA, you just got invited to a classroom and you're going to read Animal Farm over the summer. Otherwise, if they don't reach out to you,
They
then
have 2 other books as well.
Oh.
So Goddard have 3 English reading assignments, which you already should have gotten. But other than that, your teachers will probably contact you.
Yeah.
Your next year's teachers. Will we finally be having an office hours next week?
yes, we'll have a final office hours next week.
We don't know if it will be on Monday or when it will be, but we'll have like a goodbye.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know when school will start next year?
I can look up the exact date right now, but I will say it's not planned to be delayed. So whatever the original start date of school was, it's still that.
Yes. And then a couple other questions about plans being made or talked about as to how school is going to be next year.
And you know just as much as we do right now. Some people have talked about a hybrid format. Some people have talked about going back, like certain sets of students go on one day, certain sets go on the other day. And then you do more online, but we don't have a definitive plan yet.
Right. So either way, I think school's going to start at the same time next year, whether it's all remote or a blended learning, half and half.
Or if we go back
online. Yeah. So whatever it will be in August, but I think blended learning will look different than it has. I think we've learned a lot the last few months and are already learning how to make things better for next year.
Right. And when we go back, even if it does start online, everything will be required and count. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be like the last quarter and a half where you could kind of pick and choose what you want to do. It's going to be, this is 10th grade now.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Will there be a virtual graduation for when school ends?
Virtual graduation already happened for the seniors. You can go online and watch it if you would like.
Yes. So they had a virtual graduation. Did people against the Nazis try to take the law into their own hands by trying to kill the leaders themselves?
Yes, with mixed results. Certain leaders were assassinated. Obviously, many weren't. So yes, people did try and take the law into their own hands.
Has quarantine affected your sleep schedule?
Yes and no. Definitely have been sleeping later, but still going to bed around the same time and trying to stay on a sleep schedule because it's very easy to get off of one. And at points, it had affected our sleep schedule, and we kind of have gotten back into a routine now.
Yeah, I feel like definitely sleeping in a little bit later, but still trying to get to bed early-ish. Would you rather have no internet or no music?
That's a great question. I think I talked about my desire to disconnect, but I think to some point we do need the internet, so I'd probably say no music, but I would rather not have to make that choice.
Yeah, I have like questions about limitations of this, but I guess without having any other details, I would say no music. Although both are important. For both of you, if you were cast in a medical drama like Grey's Anatomy and could choose what type of surgeon you played, what would you choose to play? So this question is asking if we were an actor playing a surgeon on TV, which I feel like is very different than if you were actually a doctor.
Right. Because I'm very squeamish in general. I guess a neurosurgeon because the brain is cool and it's interesting to see the different ways people think and that kind of stuff. So I guess I would go with that as long as I don't actually have to cut open a brain.
Yeah, same. I'm thinking neurosurgeon or some type of, neurosurgeon. Have you watched any films in the Land Before Time franchise? If so, what are the best?
I've seen the first 3, but probably not in at least 15 years, probably more actually, since I last saw one. I did really like the original. I remember when we watched that often in my house. But again, it's been over 15 years since I've seen any of them.
Same, but for some reason, the second one is sticking out in my mind as being one that we preferred when we were kids, my brothers and I. What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie and why?
I like tagalongs, although the s'mores cookies that I tried for the first time this year were really good. Shout out to Carissa. But the tagalongs have always been a classic family favorite in my household because of like the peanut butter and chocolate.
Thin Mint are my favorite. I like the peanut butter chocolate, but the Thin Mints are the original ones that I enjoy. Do you like beaches, lakes, or pools? Why?
The beach is my favorite, just because of the combination of like the fresh, salty ocean water and feeling the sand between your toes and all that. Then probably pools and then lakes would be last because I feel like there's not as much circulation.
That's my way of ranking it as well. Although in Mexico, we did enjoy the pool better because the tide at the beach there was very strong. So we preferred the pool to the beach.
Yeah, so it depends on conditions as well, but generally prefer beach to pool and then pool to lakes.
Yeah. Would you be surprised if the next few months of 2020 Pokemon are discovered to be true?
The way 2020 is going, I would absolutely not be surprised by anything at this point. It would really take a lot to surprise me.
Would you prefer 7-Up or Sprite?
It's been a long time since I've had either, but I remember really liking 7-Up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to 7-Up.
Yeah.
I guess 7-Up for me too. What's your favorite animal and why?
That's a tough one. There's a lot of animals that I really like. I like bison because they're the symbol of the National Park Service. I really like manatees because I did a science fair project on them and I won a prize for manatees. Plus, they're gentle. They just like to hang out and eat plants, so that's pretty chill. And I've always liked the water. My spirit animal is a sea lion. So I don't know if that answers your question a lot, but bison, manatees, sea lions, and bears are all up there for me.
I like giraffes and koalas. Name both of your dream cars.
I want a Subaru because I like a mid-sized car, but I want it to be something that I can take hiking as well. So a Subaru.
In terms of practicality, I enjoy my SUV with all-wheel drive. It's much better to drive in the snow. But so I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about a dream car. I guess it'd be cool to have a convertible to like just drive around in the summer. But other than that, that's not really a practical New England car.
Right. Although our landlord has an SUV and a convertible.
Yeah. That's it. Those are all the questions.
All right. Well, those are the questions for the year. If you have anything else you want to say, reach out. We'll get back to you about office hours next week so we can have a formal goodbye. But this has been great. It's been a nice exercise during the quarantine and a way to connect to you. And I hope you feel more connected too. And as always, if you need anything, reach out. We're here, even when we're not your teachers anymore.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.